let's welcome our captain, Captain Tor! Here he comes, front and center. Now, while he's making his way over, I'm going to tell you how this works. We're going to ask him a couple of questions just to get started, and then you can ask us anything about Royal Caribbean, what it's like to live and work on board Oasis seas. Now, to do that, all you have to do is raise your hand. I've got crew staff here. They've got a microphone in their hand, or you can yell it out to me if you'd like to, and I'll ask the question to the master or the hotel director, and they will take those questions and answer them for you, okay? All right, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start with Captain Tor. Captain, what I'd like you to do is tell a little bit about how you become a captain here at Royal Caribbean, and a little bit about your history, how you became personally a captain.
Well, I was taking part in a raffle. I picked the right ticket, and here I am. You know what I used to say to people, but then I got some adverse comment. What I used to say is that I started off in this company as a hairdresser, and work my way up, but that's not the truth. So anyway, where I come from, on the southwest coast of Norway, it's not uncommon to be a sailor. In my family, I am 5th generation in a row of being a sailor, mostly bridge officers and captains. My father was an engineer, so he was the only black sheep in the family. I started off when I was 18 years old. I was a few trips on some fishing vessels before that. So as a matter of fact, on the 15th of October, I've been 40 years at sea.
Wow.
Which is really good since he's only 39, I'm telling you.
29.
All right, now Captain, you of course have been on many of our ships here at Royal Caribbean. What ships have you been on?
Oh. Let me put it this way, I've been on most ships in the company except the Radiance class. I never served on the Radiance class. I've been there a few times on conferences, and by the way, I was never on a cruise. I'm going to try that one day. So I'm not going to start telling you all of them. I can tell you about the ships we don't have anymore. My first one was the Song of America. Second was Sun Viking. After that, the Sovereign, the Majesty, and the Monarch. Those ships are no longer here. And after that, as I said, most ships in the company.
So quite a while. Anybody remember any of those ships? Yes. A lot of people's favorite ships, right? Yes. So it's been quite a while. Now, you're now on the largest cruise ship in the world, the Oasis of the Seas, over 230,000 tons. How is she different from like Sun Viking, which was 723 passengers?
Well, it's a huge difference. You know, I remember I was not the captain over there, obviously, I was starting there, so I was doing firefighting equipment, checking those. And then I went, hello? I'm back. So to walk from the bridge to the stern, it took me about 2 minutes. It takes a little longer here. But I have to say that I really appreciate these ships a lot. I was close to 7 years on the Allure, the sister ship here. They said I needed a change, so they sent me to the Oasis, which is great. It's the design of the ship, the sheer size makes it possible for us to offer you more things to do, more restaurants, more of everything. And until this day, I still have to pinch my arm. Am I really captain of this magnificent ship? I feel so privileged.
Thank you. Wow. And I just want to say, for the Sun Viking, she literally would fit right in this little section on the boardwalk, in case you were wondering. All right, let's take a couple seconds to talk about the differences in driving the ship today. Now, how many people have seen us take this ship into port? Have you been up to watch that at all? Is it magnificent the way it pulls in and just slides right over to the curb? Wouldn't you love it if your car at home did that? Captain, can you tell us how we make this humongous ship go into the ports and out of the ports so smoothly and so easily? What makes these ships different, unique, and the best in the world?
I'm glad you asked that question. Absolutely. You know, the regular ships, should I say conventional ships, have, as you can see, no, not that picture. You have regular propellers. Normally 2 propellers, a rudder behind each propeller, and that's it. We have AC pods, as you can see here. We have 3 of them, starboard, port, and center pod. And we can move them 360 degrees around to our pleasure or the way we want to maneuver the ship. As well as we have 4 bow thrusters, very, very powerful, roughly 7,500 horsepower each. And on the pods we have roughly 100,000 horsepower. So, for example, taking her alongside smoothly, we put all 3 pods pushing towards the pier, use the bow thrusters, and it takes this humongous ship sideways like no tomorrow. Obviously, in the end, we turn one of them the other way, just to break the sideways motion so you don't bump into the pier and you spill your drinks and you say, what the hell?
You would feel that if we bumped into the pier, trust me on that. Oh, and now it looks like they're showing us how
like female captains. I like any female, come to think of it. Now, to your question, as of right now, Royal Caribbean, this company, or should I say our brand, has no captain at this point. You know, 2, one has just retired and the second one is on leave for personal reasons. So hopefully he will come back. This is something that we are working towards, and it's not about us, it is about the women. I wish more women would actually go down that path, but it seems that it's the odd few. But I can say this, right now we have a female second officer up on the bridge, here with us. And you see more and more coming, little by little. So I wish I could say, yeah, we have about 40, but you know, Celebrity has a couple.
Yeah.
And they even have a ship where all the senior officers are females. My God, that is probably be very interesting. I hope I answered your question.
woman power, right? There we go. Right here.
So this is one way for them to come aboard. Another way is by helicopter if the weather is too bad for this, to take them over from the pilot launch. Anyhow, as it is, the captain will always be in command of the vessel. The pilot comes on board, we embrace him into the bridge team, we have a briefing together, and then we hand the con over to the pilot, and he actually gives the orders to the helmsman and to the rest of us up on the bridge. And they take us from the pilot station, for example, tomorrow morning very early, 4 to 4, we take the pilot, and then by 6 o'clock or so we should be alongside in Bayonne. We have in America really great pilots. I mean, there's good all over the world, but in America, I would say in particular, and in New York area, second to none. Really good people. Now, when we come into the basin, just off the Statue of Liberty, they will hand the con back to either myself, the staff captain, and then they will do the maneuver itself, turn her around and back her in alongside. And they will be there until we are alongside, safely moored, then they will leave us. Then they come back in the afternoon and take us back out. So I really appreciate the pilots. We couldn't do it without them. So we have 6 engines all in all, 3 large and 3 not so large. We have always 1 engine under maintenance because we don't have the time to stop and do that. We have to do it as we are on the way. So 5 engines is basically what we have to our disposal. So 1 big engine is using 3.2 tons per hour or 840 gallons. The not so big is 2.3 tons or 610 gallons per hour. So, for example, on the way down to Port Canaveral, I'll give you an example. We were running 3 large and 2 small engines, and we burned 14.3 tons per hour or 3,800 gallons per hour. So you can say that she is a, what you say in America, gas guzzler, something like that. Just some fun facts since we are at it, if I may. Total capacity, 1.4 million gallons. And with running full blast on all 5 engines, that will take us from New York to the Canary Islands and back almost to New York again. So you see, there's a lot. But then you take, I heard that the miles per gallon here is like 46 feet to the gallon. That sounds terrible. But divide that on you all and the crew, it's not too bad after all. I hope I answered your question.
Wow.
Yeah, money-wise, it's about $80,000 to $90,000 per day in fuel only.
Yes, thank you. And it's the chief engineer's Visa card we use for that.
Got declined yesterday.
There we go, right here.
Hello, my name is Eli and I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. And I was wondering, as we left Coco Key, I noticed an announcement where you guys had instrument calibration. My question is, how often do you guys have to do that?
Ah, you are a very, very observant person. Yeah, I asked the cruise director to mention it because some people get a little bit wary when they see that they're going back and forth and not going to Nassau. So basically, we have something called a speed log. We mostly use the GPS for speed and position and all that, but we are obliged to have a speed log, one on the bow, one on the stern. They are underneath the keel. So the forward one on the bow stopped working, so we got a new one, had it installed, and we need to calibrate it. So what we did, we had to go the same course, about 90 feet depth, 4 times back and forth. First with 15 knots, and then with 5 knots. And that's the protocol that the manufacturer tells us to do in order to calibrate it. And it was successful, and then after that we turn around and set sail for Nassau. Well done.
Yeah, also keep in mind that a captain was home for a while, so he came back and said, let's see how I do that. So we're spinning in circles back and forth. Same one as you do with your car, I'm sorry, sir.
It's so true. That's the real explanation, by the way.
Right there.
This is Julio from New York. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I have 2 questions for you. The first one is, every time I travel through a cruise, I always reject the travel insurance. And if something happened to me, is the ship is going to cover in case of accident? And the second is, if we have a life-threatening accident, is that true that the captain leave the last on the ship?
You know, I have a short-term memory. Let me answer the last one first. You know, it's of course something that any captain, or speaking for myself, this is something that I have been thinking of, because God forbid, it shouldn't happen, but if it happens, I have decided for myself to be the absolutely last one to leave the vessel, for sure. And make sure all of you, all our crew, are safely off, then I will depart from the vessel. Hopefully not going down with it. But yes, I will be the last one, for sure. Definitely.
And Captain, this also goes to the safety command center. Our evacuation processor is, we have 2 places where we run every emergency and evacuation. The first is the safety command center run by captain and staff captain, which is located on the bridge. The second, the evacuation control center, which is responsible for evacuating guests and crew, is run by me and my team. This is located in a special boardroom designated for these occasions. So we're definitely the last ones leaving the ship. I can assure you of that.
And I'm with them
Yeah, he had one more
because I
question.
feel good. Yeah, I've got another question, but I just want to let you know I'm the one serving the soft serve ice cream as you get into the lifeboat.
That's it. That's it. Hang on.
And going to your first question, sir, I'm sorry that we didn't answer the first one.
Yes.
Yes, we'll take a good care of you one way or another, sir. With or without an insurance, we're not going to leave you in trouble, so rest assured about that.
All right, we've got one right over here.
Good morning, my name is Pete from New York. 2 questions. What engineering was done to allow Oasis to sail under the horizontal? And second, what is the clearance between the top of the stacks and the underpart of the bridge?
You have to forgive me, there was a little bit of noise from the fans there. Can you say the last one again, please?
What is the clearance between the top of the stack and the bottom horizontal bridge?
Okay, all right. So basically, from I would say from the surface, You are probably thinking about the Verrazano Bridge, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is 72 meters, the tallest point, so multiplied by 3, you should get something like 220 some feet from the surface and up. And if you add to that our draft, which is about 9 meters or 27 feet, you get roughly 250 feet from the bottom of the ship all the way to the highest point. And the clearance when we pass under the Verrazano Bridge is actually about 4 meters, multiplied by 3 is 12 feet. Looks worse.
It does.
Did any of you see the video of us on the internet as we came under the Verrazano Bridge the first time?
That's awesome.
And it looked like, everybody, I actually saw people watching it and they were doing this.
Captain, is it true that we need to go to a certain speed which is higher, yeah, in order not to get a ship lower, so to get through this clearance? That is more than 12 knots, I believe.
Absolutely. When we are moving with slow speed, the ship is more or less upright, slightly on the bow. The more speed we give, the more the stern is stooping or sagging, if you like. So we need to have 12 knots or more, because that gives us another meter and a half deeper on the stern, and that's when we have the smokestacks. But I have one more question. I have to forgive me. I didn't hear that either.
Somebody's coming, sir. Somebody's coming with
He's coming right now with the mic. Hold on.
I'm truly sorry. It's the sound in the background here. I couldn't hear it. Well, let's face it. I'm old. I'm getting in hair loss.
Was there any engineering done to make the stacks lower? Because originally I thought the Oasis could not come to New York because of the height under the bridge.
Thank you. Absolutely. I'm glad you brought it up. The smokestacks are on a rail system, so they are lowered down, to my recollection, roughly 5 meters or 15 feet. So 1 hour before coming to the Verrazano Bridge, the engineers, they are lowering the stacks, and then after we depart, they put them back up. And if we didn't do that, then you would probably have to run for it before you pass that bridge.
Yeah, retractable.
Thank you very much. Apologies for the delay.
And actually, this ship was originally.
Our dear CEO and Chairman, Mr. Richard Fain, always been a visionary, and it was the idea from the beginning to do that, but then lots of things happened and it didn't happen. But thankfully, we are here now. We were supposed to be here last year in May. That didn't happen either, and you all know why. But now we're here, and it looks like the Oasis will be here from May to November each year. After that, we have to move down to Florida, and many reasons for that, the weather, but also our central park has a lot of nice plants which cannot withstand the cold temperature, and we want it to look pristine.
Got a question right there in the center. Got time for about 2 more.
I'm Chase from Portland, Oregon, and my question is, does the ship have a brig, and have you ever had to use it?
I wish we had a handbrake. If we go full speed ahead, which is roughly 21 knots or 24 miles per hour, we can use the pods in a special sequence. We put them outboard and astern, and then we put brakes on, meaning that they're spinning astern to stop us. Now that takes roughly 2.2 nautical miles, or should I say 3 and some statute miles, for us to stop full blast from full speed.
I was asking about a brig,
Oh,
like a
no,
tail.
it's really loud up here for us. You can't hear it, but we're right behind. He was asking about the brig. The brig. Brick.
I thought you said the brake.
It's loud up here. You can't believe it. It's loud for us.
You know, my wife is right. I really do need hearing aid, but even though she says that I have it's not about hearing, it's about what I want to hear. Sorry about that. Yes, we do. I hope you're not aiming for it, are you? No, we have very well behaved guests and crew, but yes, it has been in use. Very rarely though. And it's basically a cell with nothing in it. You have bolstered ceiling, walls and floor, and then people will have to be there until they change their mind and start to behave, or become ashore somewhere. So we do have a brig, and I'm glad you know the old-fashioned name for it. That's going to call a water ship. Thank you.
Yeah, but look, we're very nice here, okay? First, if we have an issue with a guest, we buy them coffee in Starbucks, we talk to them nicely, and then we consider the next steps.
Sometimes they get in trouble just so they can get to Starbucks.
Absolutely. Look, in my 17 years at sea, I have seen this used only once. It was one crossing on the Splendor of the Seas from somewhere in the States all the way to Barcelona. So this was many, many years ago, just once.
Very, very rarely.
It
Thanks
was the cruise director.
Yeah, I learned my lesson finally. All right, we got our last question right over there.
Hi, my name is Gal, I'm from Israel. And my question is, if someone falling into the water, what is the, like how you know that, and how much time it will take to get him out? Like back to the ship.
Okay, so we have a lot of CCTV cameras around, but we do not have a system in place where we can look everywhere all the time. I would say that to fall overboard is impossible unless you want to, or doing something stupid like climbing on the railing or being on the outside of the ship. It has happened, and most likely it will happen again. Most of the time, it's one of you seeing it, calling 911, thankfully. And I would say 8 out of 10 times we can actually save the people, but sometimes it's too late. So our procedure is, as soon as we get to know about somebody overboard, we have a special code word, which is then alarming the crew up on the bridge. We do something called a Williamson turn, which means we will turn first to the side where the person was observed falling overboard, so the stern and the propeller can get away from the person. And then after that we do a 360 and we go back to the position. We save the position as we hear it, we call it man overboard position. And then we will do a search and rescue. We will get in touch with the US Coast Guard if you are in these waters, and also adjacent ships. You know, we have a gentleman's rule or a gentlewoman's rule, if you like. We always help each other out, regardless. It doesn't matter if you're in a hurry, you stop, you help search and rescue, anything like that. So please stay inside of the ship, now and in the future. Thank you.
Captain, and we also dropped the satellite transmitter, right? Once we heard the man overboard, then we release it automatically from the bridge, so we lock the position. Is this correct?
You know, I've always said this, we should include him in the bridge team. He's very knowledgeable. Absolutely, absolutely. We have a lifeboat we throw out, and attached to the lifeboat is a radar transponder sending out signals that we can catch on our radars. Thank you.
And also, and these gentlemen are both so modest, they might not tell you this, but I'm not as modest, so I'll tell you. We have saved a lot of people who weren't even from our ship. Sometimes there are people out there floating where their ship or their boat has gone down, and they didn't have an emergency transponder or a signal, and we come along and there's somebody out there in the water. And we go down and pick them up, and that happens more often than anything else. And all, as the captain said, everybody pitches in to help. It's amazing, it really is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Captain Tor, our hotel director Peter, and all of the family here on board Oasis of the Seas, I want to thank you for coming out for Captain's Corner today.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
And I want to let you know, all three of us are now heading to the Royal Promenade, where we've got a special salute. We'll be honoring all of our veterans and all of our heroes. This is going to be really something nice, so please come and join us out there. It'll be starting in approximately 15 minutes at 11 o'clock. Have a great afternoon and enjoy your last day on board Oasis of the Seas.
Thank you all. Godspeed.